Naturalization in Ulster County, a presentation by the Ulster County Clerk's Office. The Ulster County Clerk's Office has over 200 years of naturalization-related records. These records include declarations of intention, oaths of allegiance, petitions, affidavits, and register entries. Within a 12-year span, 1,747 naturalization records were requested by 547 researchers from around the world. It is no wonder that these statistics are what they are, as genealogy is the second most popular hobby in America. The entire naturalization record collection has been transcribed into a word-searchable database. This database is available to the public on the County Clerk's Archives website. Users can search by last name, first name, country of origin, date of citizenship, and occupation. There are over 43,000 entries to search in this database. Once you have found the person you are looking for, a copy of the record can be requested from the County Clerk's Office. The entry shown here is for Nicholas Albino in 1908. For a person searching their family history, this record can provide valuable information not only on Nicholas, but for his wife Bernadette and his 4 children. Naturalization records are one of the most requested records by researchers. However, not all of these records provide the same information. It wasn't until the beginning of the 20th century that standardized forms came into use. The United States Constitution gave Congress the power to establish a uniform rule of naturalization, which they did with the Naturalization Law of March 26, 1790. The first Naturalization Act allowed any federal, state, county, or municipal court of record, meaning a court that has a seal and a clerk, to naturalize a new American citizen and administer the oath of allegiance. The applicant was required to have been a resident of the United States for 2 years prior to applying for citizenship. In 1795, the resident requirement was extended to 5 years, and all applicants were required to be attached to the principles of the Constitution and be well disposed to the good order and happiness of the same. In the 19th and early 20th centuries in Ulster County, the naturalization forms were filed as first and second papers. This example is the first and second papers for Dennis Canally from Ireland and dated September 25, 1868. At the time of application, the entire form was filled out and the bottom half was given to the applicant to be returned after the residency requirements had been met. On the back side of this same document for Dennis Canally, we can see that the top portion was filed in 1868, but the bottom portion was not filed until 1873, after his 5-year residency requirement had been met. Upon filing the bottom half of this document, the applicant was granted citizenship. Until 1906, there were no standardized forms for naturalization. The information contained on the forms was based on the requirements of each jurisdiction, and was often limited. This document is a page from a register of declarations of intention dated 1880 to 1901. The only information provided about these four applicants is their name, country of origin, and current town of residence. For example, the first entry is for Michael Croghan, formerly of Ireland, now of City of Kingston, and is signed by the applicant and the clerk. The citizenship forms themselves were often just as limited where personal information was concerned. This citizenship book, dated 1880 to 1891, shows the same information as the declarations of intention, listing only the name, country of origin, and current town of residence. The Naturalization Act of 1906 created the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization, which established a standardized list of forms and required information. The applicant was asked to provide much more specific personal information, as well as verification of arrival. The certificate of arrival shown here is verification that Hindel Schoenfeld, who later changed her name to Anna Horowitz, arrived in New York on November 7, 1911, aboard the SS Crunlin and is certified by the New York District Director of Naturalization Services. The new standardized forms include fields for color, complexion, height, weight, hair color, distinctive marks, date and place of birth, current residence, last foreign residence, and more. As we can see from this declaration of intention filed in 1906, Andreas Vocali is a 39-year-old laborer from Hungary who is now living in East Kingston. He is 5 feet 8 inches tall and 146 pounds, with black hair, gray eyes, and no distinctive marks. Mr. Vocali arrived in the U.S. at the Port of New York aboard the vessel Carpathia in May of 1904. As you can see, the information on these forms is drastically different from the forms previously used. As technology progressed, so did the information attached to the Declaration of Intention. This declaration for Anna Horowitz, formerly Hindel Schoenfeld, if you remember, is typed, making it much easier to read, and has a photograph of the applicant, which is an invaluable resource for those researching family history. The new petitions also required more information. In addition to the same details as the declaration, the petition included name of spouse, date and place of marriage, name of child, date and place of child's birth, country immigrated from, and previous names used. The petition also had a printed copy of the Oath of Allegiance on the back, which was signed by the applicant and the clerk on the date of citizenship. Petitions for naturalization have changed over the years, but are still basically the same as they were 100 years ago. The residency requirement is still 5 years, and each new citizen must take the same oath as those in years past. As of November 25, 2002, the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization was abolished, and the functions were transferred to the Department of Homeland Security. While the requirements to become a citizen can be complex, there are several general eligibility guidelines that have not changed. Applicants must be at least 18 years old and be a permanent resident of the United States for at least 5 years. Applicants must also take a test to show they have a basic understanding of U.S. history and government and are able to read, write, and speak basic English unless they qualify for an exemption or a waiver. The final steps to becoming a U.S. citizen are participating in a naturalization ceremony and taking the oath of allegiance. In June 2008, Ulster County began hosting naturalization ceremonies again after a 16-year absence. We now host 7 naturalization ceremonies each year in March, May, June, July, August, September, and December. Approximately 350 new citizens are naturalized every year. The ceremonies take place at the Ulster County Courthouse in the ceremonial courtroom and are open to the public, and the public is encouraged to attend. It is a very important moment in the lives of the new citizens and reaffirms what it means to be a United States citizen. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. The Ulster County Clerk's office can be reached at 845-340-3040, and the Record Center can be reached at 845-340-3415.